Wassail, people. So, I want to say it's all quiet on the Western Front where the sun goes down, but it just isn't. I've woken this morning and through a series of different things, a connection with a reading I did for someone a couple of weeks ago that was all about, not them personally, it was meant to be a personal reading. It was all about the American election, and I kind of just re-watched it because of things that are going on at the moment, and as it was happening, the energy of spirit has been pouring into me so much that I'm slightly shaking. I was going to sit down and do rat, but I'm being told I have to do a quick explainer on the energies of the planets at the moment, so that you understand the journey before I give you your Chinese animal signs, because there's a lot going on in the cosmos. So we have 5 planets in retrograde: Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune and Ceres, and they're about to be joined by Gaia, Uranus, who is going to turn stationary retrograde on the 15th of August until the 1st of January. So this is now the moment when the magic really starts to settle in. It'll be around the 17th that it actually goes retrograde and its power amplifies. But that's really interesting for any of you that are following your 9 days magic. It's going to start coming in past the 17th. So I'm going to do a quick, I always say quick and it never happens. I'm going to take a card for each of the planets and then explain the energies that they're currently delivering. So let me explain. When a planet goes retrograde, it seems from our position in the Earth, where the heavens seem to rotate around us, it's us rotating inside the heavens, obviously, inside the cosmos. It appears that the planet goes backwards. Now, when this happens, it means the energy of that planet increases, because in the slowness, its energy can push through to planet Earth. And as I've said before, the planets are in a very weird formation. So we're about to get the divine feminine consciousness of Gaia, Uranus, frequency really coming in, and this is it's collective energy, but it's collective energy at the moment that's still separate. So we're part of the collective, but we have to do individual personal work to move through this frequency. So we're going to begin with Jupiter, which is currently in Capricorn, vortex energy of the old order, trying to ground that energy before that energy switches as it moves towards Aquarius, which is the collective. So it's going to turn direct again, Jupiter, on September the 12th. So, can we please just have a single card to describe the energy of Jupiter? Oh, I'm going to give you a little sound for each note as well. So Jupiter is your energy wings. It's your cleansing, the great cleansing energy, and it's a G. So here we go. So the highest harmonic frequency in that is not stabilized at the moment, but I did manage to ground it into the molecules for you, which was nice of me. So can we please have a card to describe what's Jupiter doing? What is Jupiter doing? What is Jupiter doing? What is Jupiter doing? Jupiter is the great expansive planet. 3 cards. It's the great expansive planet. I paused and I was going to put them away, and Spirit was going, don't put them away. So, it's the great expansive planet. It shines energy down, and it's meant to be the bringer of joy. But it pushes energy and amplifies any of the other planets that are between it and us at Earth. Okay? So, we have the Five of Earth. Right. So this is the Five of Earth. This is like deceptive joke energy. So she's dealing the cards. She's got them in her hand, and it's the Ace of Spades, the Ace of Earth. She's digging in your soul, the Juno aspect of Jupiter, and it is about Earth, because currently it's in Jupiter's in Capricorn. It's trying to Earth, so that, look, behind is our inner child, in the shadows, in mournfulness, and she's coming forwards as a kind of benevolent devil vortex energy, and she's playing not a trick, but she's laughing. I know she looks very serious. Je suis très sérieux. But she's carrying a necklace and pearls of wisdom, and a necklace. It's like the blood red energy here is a reminder that Jupiter and Juno's role, and I don't mean Juno the planet, I mean Juno as in the flip side energy of Jupiter, because planets are not masculine or feminine, they're both energies, but they resonate at different frequencies. So this role that the feminine aspect of the planet is delivering is the red cloak, which is a kind of life force energy contract that's part of the cosmic order, and the cards are red, but the green aspect of her costume, which is the divine masculine energy of the natural world, now that the Earth grid has got its acting gear and is working with divine masculine energy. Now the Jupiter cloak of inevitable change is beginning to sweep across. So the planet in its retrograde period is really pushing for acknowledgement of the natural world from within us. And then we have the Four of Air. And the Four of Air is coming across today as this divine masculine energy of the Earth, accepting the inevitability of the fact that this is the divine timing moment when things change, when the energies switch. It's like so I want to say it's like a ticking time bomb, and for some people it will feel like a time bomb. It will feel like a huge boom going off, but actually it's not meant to be. If you approach these changes without the need to control, but allow the energies to wash across you, it's actually quite a lovely ride. I am trying to read them quickly, as I said, because we've got 6 planets to get through, and then I've got Chinese animal signs. So we next have the 6 of fire. And again, this is the divine masculine. This is that fire of the Lion's Gateway portal that's pouring up at the moment, that's been going through my body, changing my molecular structure within me, sort of an upgrade that we're all going through in our own way. This is like, he's sitting and he's doing that kind of papal sort of hand gesture, but this is a very ancient hand signal. He has two rings, one on the index finger, which is the finger of strength. It's where we point, but it's got a ring on it now to stop that jabbing. And then one on the little finger, which is Mercury and communication, to stop the communication of its will, the will of the divine masculine. It's like he's holding a cup, and the cup is beginning to pour with divine feminine consciousness, and it's the inevitability. So you see the two swords crossing. This is like the sign of Gipt in the Odin deck. This is the union of our male molecules and our feminine consciousness. And the feminine consciousness aspect is flowing with the cup's water of emotions and bringing the birth of new life. So Jupiter is bringing new energy. So what's the purpose, I guess, is the way I want to look at... Oh, that's too many cards. They've got overexcited. So, how does this affect us? How does this alchemical energy of Jupiter retrograde affect us? How does this alchemical Jupiter energy affect us? We have the Six of Moons. Okay, so it's preparation for the eclipse. Okay, so how does it affect us? It's the heat. Jupiter is what's expanding this energy of heat within us. It's got a lobster, and the lobster is talking about, unfortunately, how we pop lobsters in pots and, you know, lobster thermidor, the heat, the transmutation of the lobster's colour to this bright red as we cook them. But in the middle of this card, there's a sense of the cosmic movements and moon phases, but also Venus and Ceres. So Venus is the higher heart, and Venus was retrograde but is moving forwards now, and Ceres is retrograde until the 18th of October. So this expansive energy of Jupiter, I don't want to say that it's going to keep that fire going in us at that level until the 18th of October, because that will be so uncomfortable. But I think what it means is that the window of opportunity for us to go through that trial by fire will be there until the 18th of October. So I'm not going to pull another one on that. I'm just going to say, what does it mean for us with the Odin cards? I've had to put a cloth down today on the table because the table's a glass top table, and it's like, since the trial by water, every time I put cards down, there's moisture, and I dry the table and then I put cards down and there's moisture. It's like you can't escape the emotions, the water cleansing that's coming in. So what does this mean for us? This Jupiter retrograde for the individual, this roasting, this amplification of the roast. It means fire. So, Mushbel Hamir, are the fire giants. And on Jupiter, there is a storm that rages forever. That's a giant storm. And this is that energy that's coming down to the earth. What does it mean for us? It means we have to learn to stand tall in the heat of discomfort to face the shadow work. And, you know, it was not a pleasant experience for me. I only just yesterday managed to watch back the fire sign, and the heat and the disfiguring that was coming through my body was extreme. But what does this mean for us? It's about teaching us to connect to both the earth and the cosmos. So we have the vulva. So please, they're being so rude in my head. Obviously the name has a divine feminine connection, but they're also saying, go on, say giggle pin. So sorry. So she holds, well, and now I get it. So yeah, there's a joke in the giggle pin. There's the staff that she holds, and the staff, it connects to our spine. It's when we connect into the earth, when we connect with this divine masculine heat in the center of the earth grid, the magma that is there, the fire in the center of the earth, this energy that's being changed, it's coming together with divine consciousness. So actually, let's hold them like that. So this is the two sides, the connecting with the earth grid and letting the fire energy of the golden light coming up through us, and then connecting that through our spine to our divine feminine consciousness to bring that down to meet in our heart chakra. And that's what's talking about in this card with the lobster, is the higher heart of Venus. Is where we love others, and the Ceres, which is in retrograde, is the sacral. The sacral was emptied out so that we could make space for this new cleansed energy to form. So the vulva's staff is kind of like a reference to reweaving tapestries, and that's the pin or needle part of the joke from earlier. So when you're born, there, as I keep saying, the norms present you with a tapestry of your life, and if you can just flow with your life without getting in the way of the energies, you have a very easy existence. But most of the time we're here to learn lessons, and so Spirit throws things in our pathway to make us make decisions, and then we lose track and we get lost in repeating patterns. The vulva is the very powerful shaman in Norse mythology who understands the Siddhir magic, and you've all been doing your own version of Siddhir magic, and that's about her ability to reweave the future. And it is about rescuing our inner child that was seen at the beginning. Jupiter wants us to rescue the inner child. So that's the first three cards. Now we're moving on to Pluto, which is the spine. So here is the C sharp of the spine. I have to get into a different position to do this one because I have to clear the energy of my spine, and the back of the chair gets in the way. I need the note again. So I want to say that the energy of Pluto is not in the body, it's almost flying around, and we have to draw that in by connecting into the roots of the earth, trees, the natural world and connecting into that energy, going down into the core of the world to connect with the fire. So it's not connecting because we haven't got that energy going on in the collective properly at the moment. I'm going to pull it in there now, just to be a show off. Sorry, 1 second. I need to check something. My brain's thinking that Chiron's in retrograde at the moment as well. And I'm not certain, so just give me 1 moment. My iPad might run out. Yeah, okay, so we've got to add another one to it. I'm going to slip it in. So Chiron is on the 11th, it began moving retrograde in Aries, which is fire. That's another one that's amplifying the fire. And it lasts until December the 15th. So I'm going to join those two up and we're going to read them together. So I'm joining them up. I didn't explain what I meant. Chiron is your nervous system. The spine and the nervous system work together behind you. So let's join those two up. I could sense that need to earth. The nervous system is what will get your frequency into the ground through your feet. So that whole thing of walking on the earth barefoot is a really helpful thing to be doing. So I'm going to join those two notes up for you. You see, immediately it was connecting, because once you join the two together, Pluto and Chiron, it will make that connection. The only thing is, it will bring the heat up, and it is in me bringing the heat up, even though I'm feeling quite calm. Actually, I'm not feeling calm. The energies today are manic. Let's do that again. That was lovely. That was right in my feet. So that's good. Let's see what Chiron and Pluto have. Pluto and Chiron. Let's get them the right way around. Spine and nervous system. C sharp and A sharp, or D flat and B flat, depending on what way you want to look at it musically, whether you want to be ascending or descending. I think I always call them sharps because I like moving upwards. There goes Pluto and Chiron. Chiron's got 2. So this is the card 11, Guérison, and I forget the French word for Guérison at the moment, but it doesn't matter because the energy of the card is speaking to me. Pluto is acting as the divine masculine version of the divine feminine. It's the shaman of the planet reaching out to the shaman of the cosmos. Masculine and feminine working together in harmony through the earth grid to bring about a change. There's 3 frogs, and the 3 frogs are one on a stone at the front, one on a stone on the other side of the river that's running through, and one clinging to the staff. And it's about cleansing, transforming. Look, you've already done some of the transformation, because a frog has already gone through egg, birth, childhood, tadpole, and is now in its kind of teenage years. It's not reached its old age yet. It's kind of, I know it's not the same thing, but I want to say it's kind of old toady version. But the frog at the moment is sitting in the heat of the sun, and it needs to dive into the emotions, and the emotions are here with the vulva and one of the crows, which represents spirit, the cosmos, and the energies from above. So so what do we have with Chiron, the wounded healer, who is healing, I want to add, and that's the point. Chiron hasn't been able to heal, but Chiron can now. So actually, Chiron is being represented by this card, which is the Seven of Water. Come to that in a minute. But the bridging between the Chiron and the nervous system, which is this transformative energy, is the As de Feu, the Ace of Fire, the Fire Dragon. I mean, this is what all this Mushbel Hamir, all of this burning up and being cooked like a lobster frequency is all about. So, Fire Dragon is represented in this snake energy here. The energy of the Earth grid, because the Earth is surrounded by dragon lines, and they are the energies of the Earth, and they've been weakening in their raw masculine frequency, and that's part of another of the parts of the journey that I'm on here, is to go and seek out the Earth's dragon lines and to sing emotions back into them, because they're too fiery. So it's about quelling the fire, this journey that I'm doing with the Earth. But at the moment, you've got to allow that fire to rise up. It's healing. The heat is healing. It's searing, seeing with your eyes, seeing with your mind. There's a nice little link. So the nervous system is trying to take on an element of calmness, to flow, to cool off, to bathe, to wash, to purify. The nervous system, Chiron energy is beginning to transform. So this moment of, and this is going on until the 15th of December, this very deeply emotional, calming frequency coming on. So let's take the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus, since we're in France, and ask, I don't want that many cards. Maybe we just need one every time. So we have the Ace of Air. Okay, this is, it's giving me 110. It's because the Wheel of Fortune's above. And 110 is the 1st of October. So there is, I'm constantly getting this message that this full moon in Aries, and Chiron is in Aries. Now we're getting somewhere. There's a very significant moment coming on the 1st of October, other than my birthday, obviously. But this energy of clarity and truth, connection, kind of stabbing into the Wheel of Fortune and giving it a good push, will start to flow in on the 1st of October. So where's that taking us? Odin, where's that taking us? Ooh, nice. So, Bilrost, which is the rainbow bridge, the connection between spirit and earth. So the spine and the nervous system, this is the cosmic, spiritual representation of what happens. So 1st of October, there is this real energy of coming into one, between uniting our body and spirit, because we've got to get our body and spirit together if we're going to go into December to reach out and pull our inner child back from its hiding place within us of pain and fear. Because this solar eclipse on the 14th, oh yeah, look, Chiron, the healing, goes direct again on the 15th, the day after the solar eclipse of the inner child. And we have Vond. So Vond is the journey into beauty and bounty and prosperity and all of that kind of energy. So this drawing together of the spine and nervous system by the 1st of October will have that significance. So next we have Saturn. So I just need to say Pluto is in Capricorn, in that devil vortex spinning energy, and it's the healing of the nervous system coming down to draw in from Aries, that fire that kind of will burn out the vortex. So now we have Saturn. Saturn, which is the lower heart chakra, that's now being clothed over by Jupiter with its magnificent power, is in Aquarius. It's in the sign of the collective. So here's the F of Saturn. Saturn's divine feminine flip side is really interesting, and it's currently already underway because it's in the collective. If you look up the hexagon hurricane or tornado over the North Pole in Saturn, you will see there's been a giant hurricane that's the shape of a hexagon, which in the natural world and our world, it's circles that we see, but this has got this hexagon energy, the six-sided balance frequency, and the feminine flip side of Saturn is oops. So you can look her up. It will often say that she was his wife, but that's because men don't like to understand when they wrote history that frequencies change and that the gendering of planets is fluid. So there. Here's the F anyway of oops, not Saturn. So that was a really beautiful, strong sound. Like a year ago when I was doing this sound in sound healing, it was missing, it was hidden. It was closed in all the chaos of all the other sounds. This F of the natural world is really reaching out and drawing us in for a healing. Was also being told in my head that I'm going to have to really pay attention to this reading, even though I know I'm not going to while I'm in it, because I'm going to forget everything I've said. And they were just reminding me of that, which is kind of them. So let's see, what does oops Saturn, where's Saturn at? Where is Saturn at? Oh, Saturn is not wanting to fit together. That was really weird. I'm going to do them in the bendy a long way. It's because these cards are very stiff. Oh, that was nice. So, Saturn, what do you want to tell us about what's going on? What do you want to tell us about what's going on? Just one card. Hooray! Oh, how perfect is that? Saturn is bringing Earth Dragon energy. So we're connecting with the Fire Dragon energy from the Earth grid, but it's helping us to bring about a new frequency of the natural world, a greater understanding. Such a beautiful dragon. in this dragon's hand, sorry, I didn't say in the one before, in the dragon's hands of the fire energy of the spine and nervous system is a cosmic egg, which is the newness of us being born. And there's a spider sitting over this cosmic egg with a web woven around it, because it's talking about how the magic that we weave as we move through the spine and nervous system is to eventually, once we've birthed our own inner child from in the egg, it's about reaching out with our web into the whole world, the collective consciousness. This earth energy is about that single sprout that we're growing. It's like the beginning of a brand new Yggdrasil tree. It's like a brand new shoot of magic that's weaving up through our energies. Really lovely energy. So, no, I'm not doing 10. If it had been 2 or 3, yeah, but I'm not doing 10. So, what's Oops up to? Oh, how many now? No, it's too many again. Oops is doing a lot, obviously. Right, Oops has got some clarity. Oh, it's a Temperance card. Oops is burning off. She's burning the old ways. Look, the she's set a fire underneath his staff of power. Men, your time is over. This has been another energy I've been getting this morning that was making my body shake. It's not because I fear it, it was the power of the energy, the inevitability. This is, Oops is coming in with the Earth Dragon energy to tear up all the rules that have existed before. Everything is going to change with this Temperance card. The collective is burning down authority and just walking away from it, which is exciting. And actually, I always used to joke about how I'd quite like a global French Revolution. Obviously, I don't want people being beheaded, although I did say I was going to sit there and crochet in the front row if it ever happened. So I learned to crochet for that reason. But that isn't, there's no need for retribution. It's literally just walk away. So that it's something I keep getting this frequency energy, which is, at the moment we're being caught up in a battle between authority and power over the collective that in the past has always worked for them. And actually, one of the really important things is to just turn away. So to starve them of their oxygen, which is their manipulation of us through media, and to just walk away. Now, I've just deleted my Facebook accounts because I was kind of tired of Mark Zuckerberg deciding what people can and can't see. You're not God, Mark. You don't get to do that. There's either freedom or stop. And so we're moving towards turning away from that old energy. And it doesn't matter what they do. Please don't worry about all they're throwing all their toys out of the pram right now at the moment. But don't worry about it. The cards, the energies of spirit are saying the divine feminine changes coming in for all of us wins ultimately. So, and that's Oops upside your head, man. So, what does Oops have with Odin? What does Oops have with Odin? I kind of feel like Jira might bounce out with the harvest, but who knows? I'm not the best at predicting cards. So, can we please have a card? That one's not coming out. It was Spiritual Warrior. We are all spiritual warriors. I get that. So, can we please, Oops, can we please have a message, Oops? Can we please have a message, Oops? When it goes quiet like this, I know that it's really searching for the perfect card. So, can we please have a message from the Odin card for Oops, Saturn? Can we please have a message before everyone turns off? Otherwise this will be a 3-hour video. Oh no, there's 3 cards. You were being really good, Oops. Right, so we're going on a journey. Rad. Look, I just want to say that this is really rather beautiful, which I always love. Rad is a journey inside the inner soul and also a physical journey that we can go on. And Vend is a journey of moving into bounty. This is my initials. It's all about me again. So, Rad, this journey, Raid, sorry, not Rad, Raid, is this journey into the emotions. And we have to do that journey individually to come to the collective. That's why the Earth Dragon of Oops is giving us this little tiny sprout to water with emotions to help us to connect to the Earth. And then we have Awaz. This is a new season. It's the idea of a very long sort of time frame having been achieved. And it's kind of talking about like a 26,000 year cycle. And we've done a 13,000 year climb and then a 13,000 year descent, the other way around. We've gone through a very long cycle where we've had to witness changes in the frequency that was the divine masculine, with a raw masculine, that's now becoming divine masculine. And it's like this energy of the past through this vision that we're seeing has left humanity and the earth barren, emotionally barren, emotionally void, and that's being changed. We're getting a new shoot now to change the frequency. And then we have Midgard, which is the realm of the Middle Earth. But now, instead of it having that horrible chaotic thing, because we're burning off authority, it becomes something wonderfully beautiful, and the sun shining down on a place of great comfort and harmony, this collective energy that we're moving towards as we go through to the end of this year, 2020, into 2021. It is interesting that Uranus, it's Gaia, but I'm looking at the book here that I've written Uranus on, actually goes back direct on the 1st of January, popping our consciousness into a new frame of mind at the beginning of 2021. And 21 in the tarot deck is the ending of the major arcana, the huge cycle, this huge cycle climbing up and descending to the bottom of that difficult mountain to start a brand new journey upwards. So, I need to move space because I can't fit them all in. We're moving on next to Neptune, my favourite. Oh, how I love Neptune. Neptune is in the far reaches. Neptune is livers and kidneys and spleen and all those adrenal glands and things like that. And it's icy, 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 icy. How I longed for icy, icy the other day when I was burning up. But look, the fire that's here is to burn these very dark, heavy emotions that are ancient in our DNA that just need removing now. So this one's quite a tricky one to sound because it's quite high. It's an E flat or a D sharp. Actually, that's really interesting. I do call this one E flat because it's old and it's energies that are deeply emotional that we can't unfreeze. But right now, it's happening. It's also, I believe, if you look in a heliocentric version of the planet, Neptune's passing its energy through Ceres, so it's resetting the D within our body. And actually Ceres is the next one we're doing. So here's the... Sorry, I'm just going to tell you, Neptune is retrograde until November the 28th. So, just so you know. So that window of the melting of these emotions, you've got time to do it. None of these things have to happen on a particular schedule. There's a frequency at which these energies begin, but once they're open, they stay open, really. The frequencies enter the earth grid, and the earth grid keeps shining them out so that the collective can slowly find its way to those energy frequencies. Powerfully strong, so it's not so distant in terms of the energy frequency coming towards us. So I need to make more space. Running out of space on this little cloth. So Neptune, my old China. Neptune is the sea, obviously, and as you all know, I'm deeply connected to the sea. And we're currently in a phase where the dog star Sirius is over the pyramids and is connecting us to the Lion's Gateway portal. And lots of the planets in the solar system of Sirius are water planets. So they're planets where the people live in water. Oh, the edge of that card has just tried to cut my finger. We'll have none of that bloodletting magic shit. I don't like that. Oh, they're doing it again. There's a sense, this is the now hand. Oh, I'm going to have to be careful with this. Dreams of, it's signing new contracts in life force. I don't want to touch them anymore. So, Neptune. What do you want to tell people about? Where are you at, Neptune? Where are you at? Come on, Neptune, me old China. Oh my God! Icy, icy, icy. Icy, icy, ice dragon. We're getting all the aces today. This is magic. Okay, so the ice is being melted. I mean, we've now got 3 dragons. Where's that one? We're only missing the ice, the dragon of water. This is so powerful. 111. This is what I mean about going back to this card here. This is divine cosmic timing. All the fractals on the macro level are turning, have turned. They've fired the energy down inside the earth grid. The Aquarian beings inside the earth grid, the thunder beings who are inside, have now adjusted the frequencies of the earth grid, and they're emanating that energy back out so that we can feel changes in our DNA at a micro level. Everything is changing. So, beautiful, beautiful ice dragon. Oh God, do you know, actually, I feel like I want to... Just because the last time I touched this card, I felt the cooling energy all over my legs. So anyway, I feel calmer. I was a bit manic, sorry. So this lovely cooling ice dragon is bringing clarity to the mind, to the consciousness, because it's melting old emotions and the old. Oh yeah. So look, when you're born, I talk about this a lot, but when you're born, when you're first conceived and you've got father's sperm, mother's egg, and your consciousness comes in to create the triangle of life. Your frequency gets distorted. Your consciousness has to weave itself around all of the complications of the inherited DNA that's within your X's and your Y chromosomes, depending on which versions you have. And your inherited DNA distorts your consciousness. This is about getting your consciousness cleared out, original frequency, blueprint, divine blueprint coming back online for people. Okay, so that's the lovely ice dragon. And then we have 13, Reine de Terre. She's coming up a lot at the moment. She's oops, in fact, which she didn't make clear every other time I've seen her. But she is the flip side of Saturn, and she has down below her 2 cosmic eggs that are birthing. What's in them? We don't know. But this is the energy of, in where I come from, Hastings, we have a festival of the Green Man on the first Monday in May, on the May Day bank holiday, and this is a festival where we dress a person as a huge tree and they dance around, and everyone's dressed in green, and it's all about leaves and growth and ensuing like through Sadir magic, because it's a pagan tradition, the knowledge that the harvest will come. And it's a great festivity. It's packed down there. And actually this year we didn't do it because of the lockdown. And I did think that the people of Hastings wouldn't accept that because it's a really important festival to them, but they didn't. But the energy's changing. You know, the end of the festival was up on the West Hill, and they tear the tree to pieces and scatter all the leaves out into the cosmos. But this is about how it's no longer green man energy, it's green woman energy. You know, it's proper Gaia in the Mother Nature. Is harvesting the energy of the earth. But there is this sense of calm. I keep getting this message, which is that the natural world is going to do something spectacularly calm globally, or do something so surreal that we all have to sit up and notice it as a collective. And I don't know when that is, the vision I've seen. There's different things it can do. It could bring about an ending of the wind, created by global temperatures just becoming one single temperature everywhere. I know that'll panic people because they'll think ice caps are going to melt and everything. But look, the natural world can heal anything so quickly, as it showed us at the beginning of lockdown when it did this massive quick healing, and then we all kind of went, oh no, quick, let's all get back to work. We've got to support the economies and we've got to do what the government says. And so the natural world paused on that healing. The healing will return, but it is possible. I've seen visions of all the temperatures becoming equal. So with there being no variation of temperature, it means that there's no wind. And if there's no wind, we would have to wake up and look. So that's one of the things it can do. The other vision I've seen is of animals just all coming out, being very present, sea animals. And that's really interesting because we're dealing with Neptune at the moment. But all animals just kind of coming down, a bit like in the birds, and all just sitting there completely calmly and just staring at us. Because if animals that would normally prey on each other came down and sat beside each other. That's also an enormous wake-up call, and the natural world can do this kind of magic. Oops is a very powerful frequency. So we need to know. I've lost track of where the cards are. Oh, I've put them right over there. We need the Lost Tarot of Nostradamus. So what's Nostradamus Tarot got to say? What's Neptune up to? Neptune's in cahoots with Oops. That's what's going on. So we've got the Three of Earth, which is about collaboration, and we have the Alchemist, which is seen in this deck as the Zen of Earth. So Neptune's energy, which is unfreezing things, is to do with its connection with the natural world. Neptune's doing something with the natural world. It's bringing about collaboration between masculine and feminine. I've got that sense of the pyramid as above, the pyramid below the earth, firing a different energy frequency. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5 and 10. There's something about the 5th of October. October's such a powerful month this year. There's masses going on in October. There's 3 moon phases. There's full moon on the 1st, there's a new moon on the 14th, 15th, and then there's a full moon on the 31st. Top and tail. There's something going on with the alignments of the planets that focus on that energy of the 5th of October for some reason. Again, I don't know what it is, but it's alchemical. So it's divine masculine, divine feminine, but I'm getting seraphim energy. So maybe it's the point at which, what's Jupiter doing? So Jupiter's back direct. Pluto becomes direct again on the 3rd of October. Saturn's direct on the 28th. So and Neptune stays retrograde. So maybe this is something to do with, hang on, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto. All of the 3 big karmic planets by the 5th are now moving forwards again. So they're bringing change, and they're heading towards, moving towards Aquarius. Saturn's already there. That's why Saturn is already working with Neptune on the collective energies. So we have divine masculine, divine feminine, again, that message. But we've also, in this Alchemist card, oh, sorry, I didn't show you them, did I? So selfish. In this Alchemist card, there's a real sense of the Alchemist is almost run out of ideas. Look, he's got a great big blank book. Because the raw masculine energy is now gone. We've turned over a new page. I'm always getting this energy of Mary the Jewess. And she's really worth looking up in a Google search. She was the first alchemist. I keep saying this, but I don't think enough of you look her up. She wasn't just the first lady alchemist, she was the first alchemist. And I'm in France. She is the person who created so many scientific instruments that are still used today. She created the bain-marie. That's who it is, the bath of Mary, Mary the Jewess. So give her a look up. She's moving the Wheel of Fortune. There's 2 X's, 20. And there's also a whole series of... There's Cancer, and I'm getting that sense of movement in Cancer, which is the home, but they're saying it's the home of the sacral. So something, this energy on the 5th is bringing some kind of sacral gift. Not sacred, but a sacral gift, like a recharge properly of self-love. Okay, so now we need the Odin. I'm not taking... Oh, I wasn't going to take that until I saw what it is. It just snapped out because this is happening, and it's happening fast once we get there. This is Idun. I just talked about self-love. Idun is inner beauty, inner health, with her red apples. They're sometimes golden apples, but with her gift of health. So there's a significant sense of, maybe this is when divine blueprint energy starts to resonate through and change the frequency of our DNA molecules, as I was talking about, and we begin to notice the changes. Another of the visions that I've had is, I always want to cough before talking about these deeply personal things that I see, but they are nudging me in the back of the head with a finger prod, which they're not supposed to, because we've done away with finger prodding, remember, with that ring on the Pope's finger. So this other vision is of bodily healing, but not emotional healing. Emotional healing you have to do as shadow work, because it's divine feminine consciousness. So when the distortions of the DNA leave our body of inherited trauma, we're left with the need to rework who we are. So that's Blue Lunar Storm year. Not who do you think you are, but who are you really? Because who you think you are is connected to the distortions of DNA trauma. Way, look, we're getting there slowly. Right, so that's another one down. We're moving on to Ceres, which is what we've just touched on with the Neptune thing. So Ceres is going to go direct on the 18th of October. Ceres is a sacral. Ceres is already a female, and she has had to... Her story is she's the mother of Persephone, and she has to let her daughter go off, like your inner child, into the underworld for 6 months of the year and then returning. This time she's going in to get her daughter back forever. So... was so strong. You'll be feeling that one right now. So let's I'm not having that many. There's about 7. That's too complicated. Let's try and do this deck now without it slicing my fingers off and trying to get blood and life force out of me. I've already signed my pre-incarnation contracts. I'm not making any new ones. So, Ceres, the sacral. Where's your head at? Ooh, did a little bit of head banging at the wall. Oh, this card's also constantly coming out. Le choix. 0, rebirthing everything in the sacral. Look, the sacral is where our divine feminine consciousness usually sits and has sat for most people throughout the age of Pisces. In the age of Aquarius, the sacral, the divine feminine consciousness goes inside the earth grid and connects and weaves itself properly into the earth with the green woman energy of oops. So the sacral has been cleaned out of all the disturbances and traumas so that we can learn to self-love. Oh look, we've got Idun's golden apples now, just seated at the side. That's the gift that Idun is offering with our holy spark of divine spark of fire. This is a purification that takes place, but there are 3 doors for our divine masculine molecules, our divine feminine consciousness, and our inner child that she's off to rescue. So, Ceres. Ceres, what's going on? The 5 of air. She's chasing away the age of Pisces, and actually there's a Pope on a horse with a little fold in his skirt, which always reminds me of Sol, the sun, being cleansed by fire. It's time to burn away the old. And at the top of this card, I'm going to show you upside down. I don't know whether it's clear, but there is the water bearer bringing down the collective energy that we're moving towards. So the clearance and the resetting of the sacral so that the divine feminine consciousness energy can reach into the earth grid is the key to this moment, because we have to reset how we feel about ourselves. So not who we think we are, I'm going to say that again, but who are we really? Okay, so, and now we have an Odin card. I was going to say an Idun card then. It's a very clear message with the... it's a very clear message of stormy times ahead. It's a very clear message with Idun, with Ceres. I don't know why Idun's name can't go out of my head. I know we're moving towards a sense of paradise, but we've got to go through some shadow work first. You've got to do the shadow work on your sacral, your self-love, because you've got to clean the house out. And this is your sacred space of the seat of your emotions. You've got to clean them out. So there's a hailstorm, there's thunder and lightning. That whole sense of Hagal is... the cleansing, the thunder, the heat, the burning, all of those things have got to take place to make a happy home space for your inner child to reside in. And it's a card of hope, but not hope with no end, hope with the knowledge of where destiny is, because hope's a really tricky word. Hope is a journey of hoping without knowing. And actually what you need to do to get through shadow work is to trust and to know what you're doing. If you just keep hoping, if you just keep begging, all you end up with is Age of Pisces bollocks. So that's that one. And now we are on to Gaia herself. I also want to just mention, the bowl keeps trying to ring. Wants to get that cleansing going. I want to mention the Taurids meteor shower, which comes now. The Taurids meteor shower is often called the bombs of Halloween or the fireballs of Halloween, and that's relevant to these frequency energies that are coming up on the 31st. I also think that there's something to do with the American elections and the new woman vice president that might be coming into it, because her birthday is the 20th of October, I noticed today. Cal, is it Harris? I don't know. I don't follow the real world, but somehow this got pushed into my consciousness today. But anyway, her birthday is the 20th of the 10th, and this meteor shower it takes place in two different halves of the world. So it runs in the southern hemisphere from September the 10th to November the 20th. So that's in there, and that's her birthday. And then in the northern hemisphere, they run from the 20th of October, her birthday, to the 10th of December. So that echo again of 2010 frequency energy within her. I think she's got some kind of deeply strong pathway connected to these things, but I really don't like making political statements. But this was an energy that they were pushing through me today, and really that was what was making me shake, because they really wanted me to bring it up somehow, and I was like, I'm not doing it, but there you go, I've done it. So I followed the rules. So Gaia, Uranus. Look, I said it out loud then. Oh, another one that's smashed against the wall. Oh, I've lost it. So, the Seven of Air. This is the spirit of Sirius, as I keep saying. This is seraphim energy. And this is about when we are in alignment with our physical body. Cosmic energy radiating through every cell in our body. This is the healing that is taking place for the collective consciousness, but it has to happen on an individual basis. And I do want to kind of say, lots of people in the spiritual world keep talking about how it's really important to reach out to the collective and do these big group meditations. And I've always been very wary of them. I did join in with a preparation for one on the 4th of the 4th, which we did live on Facebook. But all the way through, we did a great sound healing and preparation. But then when it was over and it was time to go into the group meditation, Spirit told me not to do it. Because these energies can get hijacked by very powerful cosmic psychics. And the part of the journey is to help the collective. You have to help yourself. If you don't self-love, you can go into these frequencies and be distorted yet again. So this is a card about reminding you that it's your self-worth that helps the collective. And that's what Gaia, Uranus, is wanting us to understand. So can we please have a little bit more of the message? So we have it's a hard one. I mean, look, we've got the toppling again of the age of the raw male, the ego, the toppling of the ego, of being better than everybody else, of being someone that looks down on others, because he's built himself a false pedestal on which to stand, and this is paper thin now. It's ready to go up in flames. So this is ego death, and we have to go on an ego death. And it's interesting because I mentioned that political thing partly because I did it as a reading for somebody. It was a personal reading, and it just turned into a message all about American politics and how there's this huge change that's coming on it through feminine intervention. And it was really hinting at this notion, as I just mentioned, of a woman arriving and something amazing happening that brings the woman to power and not the men somehow. And I didn't understand it at the time, and I do now. And she did say I could post the reading, and I decided against it because it felt like it's a need within me to allow my ego to go, look at how clever I am with my predictions. But Spirit's really tapping it on the inside of my head. But it is about the fall of the ego death. So to know that the things you do are for the collective, but they have to be done through the self, and that's actually the divine feminine ego is the message that needs to come out. So this card has Gemini descending from the skies, and the Gemini are the energy of mirrored souls, not twin flames. I really need to make that clear, but it's this energy of a much higher, much further up dimensional frequency of us when we were more of a collective, when we were like, you know, maybe 100 souls were together to create one big oversoul. And there are all these fragments of these mirrors down here. And it is a movement, it is a motion forwards, and this that they want me to explain, which is to do with, in the original mirror soul readings, we all have a mirror soul, but we have many mirror souls. And that was a difficult concept to get our head around, because there's so many different dimensions and things. But as we move further and further up towards source, we amass together to become one, because we are, it's the law of oneness. It's it's deeply complicated, and it's sort of feeds into that notion of me having met my mirror soul and me walking away, because even though he is one of the mirror soul people, he's not the mirror soul that I need right now. So I will remain here knowing that the cosmos Gaia energy can cast her net out and draw the correct mirror soul to you. Because this notion that you only have one person in the whole of the universe that you can connect with is Age of Pisces bollocks, really. And I didn't understand that until this morning, working on this energy that's came in that made me shake. It was about reworking and re-understanding the movement of time and direction. And I don't want to go deeply into it. Let's get back to this card of Gaia, because this is looking like a very long reading. So, this is the 8 of air. And that's this, usually it's all the swords around someone and stepping out. But this is talking about the fall of Rome. Because Rome was once a great civilization and it fell. And although we're this global civilization now, the energies that control that civilization can fall and will fall, because that's what this ego is. We need the new ego of the seraphim energy to come in and change things. So, I really need to end this reading. It feels like it's been going on for about 8 hours. Oh. So, what does it end with? Hell. She makes me laugh every time, Hell. But Hell is the most amazing goddess. She is goddess of the underworld. So, not god of the underworld, goddess of the underworld. And she is so embracing and caring of all the people who, during the Age of Pisces, were not being taken by Odin to Valhalla for celebrating violence and death and being like, yay, you did that. This is about all the souls that already knew that that was wrong, that in their core knew that the violence was wrong. And Hell lives at the bottom of the Yggdrasil tree, and she is so benevolent, so beautiful and so kind that she has access to all the 9 realms. But she sits at the base of the tree, and she's going back to that energy of, she's the seed that grows into the fullness of cosmic consciousness. So you have, it's kind of like, I want to say that We talk about the divine masculine earth grid, which is woven with divine femininity, but the energies of everything are changing. The earth grid will over time, not fast, not now, become divine feminine, and our consciousness will become divine masculine. There is a transformation energy. It's a complete switch, but that's kind of way into the next 26,000 years, probably like in 13,000 years time. But it's just wanting you to understand the fluidity of gender. Okay, so that's the very long reading of the planets. I hope it's helpful. Wassail.